What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. It's Thursday night, January 30th, and we're just going to hang out for a little bit. This video is called What's New at the Fantasy Fellowship. I've been kind of taking it easy in January. I haven't put out a ton of content. We've been kind of enjoying a nice little just breather before we start roaring back up and getting things ready for 2025. But we're going to just look at the fantasyfellowship.com, tell you guys what I've been working on and what to expect from me over these next few months as we're entering the off season. Of course, we have the Super Bowl next weekend, and then after that, man, it's like full go, like 2025 season mode. But I do have a few things on the fellowship right now that are new. Again, it's Thursday, January 30th, which means on the first of the month, I put out a dynasty rankings update. So I'm probably going to make a video for that on Saturday, maybe Saturday morning or afternoon. I'll get a video out for that, kind of showing you guys some of my thoughts. That's not going to include any rookie rankings yet. My first dynasty rookie rankings will be coming out March 1st. So I'm going to continue to use the whole month of February to basically just look at all the data and do some film, do some research, do some things, and then we'll start to do some rankings for that in March. But I do have that big dynasty ranking update coming on the 1st. And then if you're at the fantasyfellowship.com, we still have the members tab. Right now, I got to probably get rid of this weekly rankings tab, but I might rank the Super Bowl players. But I still have dynasty rankings up here. There's a couple other things that you guys can click on and look at there, whether it's past or previous, datas and things like that. But I do have the NFL draft consensus prospect rankings up. And this is something I'm probably going to start updating maybe once a week, maybe towards Fridays. And this is basically just everyone that we are going to care about that's getting drafted. And this is all pulled from mockdraftdatabase.com. If you guys are unfamiliar with them, they are kind of, I like them because it's basically they just take a whole bunch of mock drafts and they kind of analyze and they crunch the numbers and find out the big boards and the rankings and things like that. So they have a lot of nice stuff on here. So that's where I'm kind of pulling these numbers, and it's just kind of the average number of where these guys are being drafted. So we have a handful of first round talents here. Draft spot is 1 through 32. So we have about 9 guys being projected as first round picks. I don't think Jalen Milroe will be a first round pick, but we have 3, maybe 4 receivers entering the first round, 1 running back for sure, and then a handful of quarterbacks, 2 for sure, maybe a third. And then we got some tight ends. So get to know some of these names. I think my draft research indicates that there's probably, if you're going to do the research, you need to know the top 30 or 40 rookie players. So take a look at some of this stuff. I have them listed pretty deep here. I think all the way, how many rookies we got here on the list for you guys. I have a list of 80 rookies, and that's going to continue to update. I'm waiting for them to release the NFL Combine invites, because to me that kind of locks in, yep, these are the players that I'm looking at. And then if there's a few stragglers that are going not to the Combine, I'll look those guys up here. But we have a pretty solid draft, a couple fun quarterbacks to look at. The receivers are good, kind of a top-heavy rookie receiver class with McMillan and Burden. I think Egbuka is pretty good too, but a lot of slot-style type receivers. And then these 2 tight ends are both really, really interesting. So some pretty interesting first-round talent for your fantasy dynasty draft. So check that out. That's the consensus draft rankings. We have Underdog ADP. What the heck is going on here? It's not even February, and these sickos are drafting Underdog best ball already. So you don't have to draft best ball, but I do think it's a good idea to look at it and just see what's kind of going on here. This weekend, I'm probably going to put out my best ball rankings. I'll probably update this tomorrow, but I want to just get some best ball rankings up there on the site. That'll be on the members tab. So if you guys are not members and want my best ball rankings, that's where they will be. Some interesting things. I mean, Christian McCaffrey going here at 12 seems a little rich, and I'm going to probably start to keep track of the ADP change in the logs and things like that. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, check out the Underdog ADP. I'm going to put out some prop bets for the Super Bowl, so check back for that. Anything else that I have to share with you guys on the website right now? Again, it's kind of a no man's period of things going on, but I kind of wrote and talked about what I'm doing in that paragraph there. So January is a tough month, not a lot of content that I can put out, but there's a few things there for you guys. And then I want to show you guys what I'll kind of show you what I did last year first, And this is available in the members only content section. And this is what I'm going to be putting out again. Well, we have this advanced data on players here, and this was running back, receiver, advanced data, a lot of next gen stat stuff. Oh, not sure why that can't be found. Let me go on down here to. So I do two things. These are the two things that I'm working on for this year. You have the 2023 advanced data study. That's one of the things that I'm finishing up. I'm hopefully having that ready next week for you guys. But this is a huge PDF that I put together, a ton of data studies looking at all the advanced metrics that we're going to care about for quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and tight ends. And it basically just tells me, who was playing well the year before and what can we do with these metrics going forward. But I mean, there's a ton of data here, and I'm going to get better at formatting this stuff. But we can find, this is what it had last year: fantasy points per route run, targets per route run, yards per route run. All of these awesome stats I kind of package up for you guys. And I guess since I'm talking about it, we could probably, let's pull that up. I'm going to show you guys a couple sneak peeks of what I got brewing over here. So it's going to be called the 2004 or 2024 Advanced Data Study. And basically, I have a ton of data and numbers in here. Where did I leave off today? So the rushing scores today, and I have everything on tabs up here. The guy who had the most rushing fantasy points per game last year is pretty obvious. It's Saquon Barkley, but that's one metric that I like to look at just to see how successful a player was playing. You have yards after contact per attempt. Bucky Irving, Antonio Gibson, Tank Bigsby, Tyler Algier, Jeremy McNichols. A lot of interesting guys kind of pop in that metric. So I'm kind of looking at, yards after contact per attempt, missed tackles forced, which is a fun one. I like this one a lot. Kenneth Walker dominated in this category. Again, there's Bucky Irving. I like to look at breakaway yards, which are the percentage of yards on carries that were 15 yards or more. We look at elusive and explosive rates, as well as I have some PFF grades in here too, which I know are not everything, but I do like to use them as a way to measure some things. And then so I'm going to present this, these data to you guys. And then at the end of each, kind of set of studies, I go back and I rank everybody. And this data set has 70 running backs. And I rank them 1 through, whatever, 70. And then I come up with a composite score for them at the end to see who really had like an awesome, all well-rounded season. And these were the top in the advanced metrics. These were your top running backs last year: Bucky Irving, Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry, a lot of guys here. So we're going to be getting this data out on the fantasyfellowship.com. So if you guys are interested in signing up for February, you guys got a lot of things to look forward to, whether it's my dynasty rankings, these data studies, and a couple other things that I'm going to be posting on there. So that is the advanced metrics data study. And then I basically do the same thing, but for the college players. So if I go back here on the website, and this, all this data is still back, it's still on the website from 2023, the 2023 data study. It's still there. And then you guys can take a look at my 2024 Dynasty Rookie Guide. This is going to be what I'm spending most of February on. And it was my first year doing it last year. I had a lot of fun making this, and I learned a lot. It allowed me to hit on a lot of fun players in this year's class. But if I just look at this real quick, I'm going to see if I can open it up in here. This was a huge mammoth of a document, and it comes with my pre-draft positional rankings. This was rankings before these players were drafted and where I like them. And then I looked at a lot of next gen stats, so that I was just kind of explaining what I used for my system. And then here is kind of how the formatting is. So you're looking at next gen stats. 2024 quarterbacks. I take a look at the production score, athleticism, their overall score, and their grade, and I kind of come up with an NGS score for these guys, and then compare that to the previous classes. So guys like Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, they were the highest scoring quarterbacks in these next gen stats over the last 4 classes. So this is kind of how I do it. The running backs here, Trey Benson was the RB1 last year in NGS score. A lot of guys like, look at Isaac Garendo popped. Bucky Irving was 9th. He didn't have the great grade overall, but he's a very good player. So I kind of look at a certain metric for the class, and then I compare it to previous classes. So I like using those next gen stats as just kind of like a profile kind of situation. And then I show you, these were the top graded next gen stat scores compared to the previous one. So a lot goes into this. I'm excited to finally start getting it going here. I just want to look and see, 'cause I'm going to have to get better at formatting this, but and then we dive into specific stats for each quarterback. So fantasy points per game. This is one of the stats that I loved about Jaden Daniels last year. He had the best fantasy football season of all time for a college quarterback. Almost 40 fantasy points per game that final year at LSU. Pretty insane. And Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow, they did have the previous highs, but it just didn't come, a full, 2-3 points higher for Jaden Daniels. So that's what we're going to be looking at. And this is a way for me to just really get to know. I like to look at the prospects and their numbers. At the end, I will talk about the quarterbacks and I kind of rank them. Again, I do that same thing where I take all these different metrics and I rank them 1 through however many data sets that I have, and we give them a score. So excited to get into this for the 2025 class. So just wanted to say hi. I'm still hanging out, still going to be making some videos for you guys. And now that it's February, we can really get locked in on this 2025 draft class and watch some tape. But yeah, go check out some of the prospects that I have on the website with their rankings. Get to know some of those guys. And check out thefantasyfellowship.com. Become a member. We got a lot of stuff rolling out in February. So thank you guys so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you next time. Peace. Got me feeling icy.